When Kim Porter was found dead in her Los Angeles home on November 15, 2018, her death was swiftly ruled as a tragic case of pneumonia, a natural end to a life that seemed full of love and promise. But as time has passed, and particularly in light of recent accusations and allegations surrounding Sean Combs, also known as P. Diddy, questions that once lingered in hushed tones have started to resurface with renewed intensity.
You about now, model and actress Kim Porter, who shares 3 children with Sean Diddy Combs, has been found dead.
Agent 76, rescue 82, cardiac arrest. Agent 76, you're going to get EMS 14. EMS 14, respond with Agent 76 on scene of the cardiac arrest.
The haunting details of Kim's sudden death, unanswered questions, whispers of fear, and her connections to one of hip-hop's most powerful figures have prompted speculation that refuses to die down. What truly happened on that November night? Did Kim know too much about the darker sides of the industry, or perhaps of Diddy himself? Kim Porter was a model, actress, and prominent figure in hip-hop. From Columbus, Georgia, she began modeling in high school while actively participating in cheerleading and pageants. After graduating in 1988, she moved to New York to pursue her career, gaining recognition through appearances in music videos like Big Daddy Kane's Smooth Operator. Despite early opportunities, she prioritized her education and training in high society etiquette, showing her commitment to building a solid foundation before fully entering the entertainment industry. In the late 80s, Kim worked as a receptionist at Uptown Records, where she met Sean Diddy Combs. Their relationship began in the early 90s, and Kim became a significant figure in Diddy's life. She had her first son, Quincy, with L.B. Sure, a prominent singer in the 90s, and after their split, Quincy was adopted by Diddy, highlighting Kim's integral role in Diddy's family life. Kim and Diddy's romantic relationship was always public, glamorous, and turbulent. Their relationship was marked by several breakups and reconciliations, including a significant split in 1999 when Diddy became romantically involved with Jennifer Lopez. Despite their difficulties, they had 3 children together, Christian and twin daughters, Jesse James and Delilah Starr. Their family life, though often portrayed as happy in public, faced repeated challenges, including accusations of infidelity and Diddy's association with Cassie, which we will talk about later. But this association eventually ended their relationship for good in 2007, which was just months after Kim gave birth to their twins.
Kim Porter says she dumped Diddy.
I feel like...
In a statement to the TV show The Insider, she says she decided to end what she calls her on-again, off-again relationship with Sean Diddy Combs. She says it was in the best interest of both them and their family. Earlier this week, Diddy announced that he and Porter, who began dating in the 90s, have split.
They could have at least...
The rap mogul and the model have a son and twin daughters who were just born last December. The couple broke up once before. Diddy dated Jennifer Lopez before he and Porter reconciled. Lori Neff, The Associated Press.
Kim and Diddy, however, remained close even after their split. They often appeared publicly together, and Diddy described Kim as his best friend and someone irreplaceable in his life. But then, on November 15, 2018, Kim Porter was suddenly found dead in her Toluca Lake home. The initial report attributed her death to complications from pneumonia. However, her passing immediately sparked a slew of speculation and conspiracy theories. The Los Angeles County Coroner's Office deferred the cause of death for additional investigation, ultimately ruling it as due to natural causes. Despite this, questions have lingered, particularly because of the mysterious elements noted in her autopsy report. The report describes symptoms like a lack of appetite, bloody phlegm, and sudden worsening of her health. The autopsy revealed she had fluid in her chest, cavities, and an infection on the lungs, consistent with bacterial pneumonia. No viral infections were detected, raising questions about how a healthy individual at 47 could succumb so suddenly to pneumonia. Kim's friend, Jaguar Wright, claims that the initial autopsy report indicated that Kim was poisoned, which could have led to her cardiac arrest.
There's the first coroner's report that said it was ruled a homicide and they found toxins in her body to prove that she had been poisoned. You know, they have poisons that create heart attack and pneumonia-like symptoms.
A friend of Kim Porter, who is also the ex of Donald Trump Jr., allegedly told Trump Jr. that Combs was somehow involved in Kim's death.
Not me directly, but it's my ex-wife actually she was a model in New York, and like she was really good friends with Kim Porter, who was Diddy's wife, the one who died at 47 from pneumonia. And I was like,
that's what
when that happened, she called me, and this was a couple of years ago now, maybe not even, a couple of years ago, and she called me like, something's up with that. I go, what do you mean? She's like, oh, dude, Kim used to tell me like it was a bad, like there was a lot of weird shit that I didn't even know that like, but they were like, you know, they'd do photo shoots together or whatever. They were sort of friendly. Like they'd hang out. Like we'd see them out downtown, and like I'd hang out with her. Not so much with Dad. I think it was already sort of over there, but like she was really afraid of him, and it really, like this goes back years, and so like, and she was having these conversations with my ex. I was like, I don't know what like.
A lot of people believe that whatever happened there happened with the woman afterwards, which was Cassie, and it's supposedly
like I said, like I didn't. You sort of don't think about these things until now. You go back and you're like, holy, like I distinctly remember when my Vanessa was like calls me and was like, hey man, Kim Porter died. I go, what? Like we saw her like a couple of weeks, whatever it was, you know, and she goes, yeah man, she was sort of always in fear of something happening. And I was like, maybe it's natural, but like, not a lot of people die at 47 of pneumonia. Like,
Additionally, concerns were raised that some of Kim's belongings, including her personal notes and devices, went missing after her death, adding to the lingering doubts surrounding the case. These suspicions have only intensified with recent allegations against Diddy. In late 2023 and 2024, multiple accusations have surfaced regarding Diddy's involvement in violence and other misconduct. When we look deeper into this, it turns out that since the start of his career, allegations have been around from the beginning. Diddy started out in the music industry at a young age. He established his label, Bad Boy Entertainment, by the age of 24. The label played a significant role in the 1990s East Coast-West Coast rap rivalry, involving West Coast label Death Row Records. What began as a competitive industry atmosphere soon escalated into violent conflict, culminating in high-profile deaths, including those of Tupac Shakur and Biggie Smalls. Diddy has often been rumored to have been involved, although no conclusive evidence has been presented to implicate him directly in these tragic events. Throughout his career, Combs has faced various legal troubles involving arrests and lawsuits. However, he has consistently been acquitted, had charges dropped, or resolved matters through financial settlements. One notable incident took place in 1999, when a shooting occurred at a crowded nightclub, injuring 3 people. Combs and his then-girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez, were both arrested. Despite the high-profile nature of the case, neither ended up serving time, as Combs was acquitted of all charges.
I started immediately. I literally watched them pull out the guns. I've had a clear point of view. I mean, for God's sake, I got shot in my nose. I was facing them directly. I watched everything occur and have described it, vehemently to all parties involved.
In 2005, Diddy signed a young singer named Cassie Ventura. Diddy at the time was 38 years old, while Cassie was only 19 years old. He seemed to be obsessed with her. Reports suggest that from the outset, their relationship was fraught with power dynamics, characterized by manipulation and coercion. Allegations surfaced over time suggesting that Cassie was pressured into a relationship, with her music career being held over her as leverage. The relationship allegedly involved extremely controlling behavior, and even substance abuse, and instances where Cassie was made to perform non-consensual acts with many men. Diddy referred to these events as freak-offs, often lasting several days. Her career was used as a bargaining chip, her opportunities tied directly to her willingness to comply with Diddy's demands. Looking at old footage of Cassie talking about her relationship, she couldn't admit that Diddy was a good guy. She consistently avoided answering questions about her relationships.
Was it love at first sight with your boyfriend?
It was a long time ago.
In 2016, there was an alleged incident in a hotel where Diddy reportedly attacked Cassie. Though it was claimed that hotel staff were paid off to destroy surveillance footage, reports indicate that leaked recordings may now be surfacing online. By 2018, Cassie reportedly managed to leave Diddy's control, which coincided with the death of Kim Porter. The New York State Adult Survivors Act, passed in 2022, opened a 1-year window for victims to bring claims against alleged abusers, even if the statute of limitations had previously expired. In November 2023, Cassie filed a lawsuit against Combs under this law, accusing him of sustained physical, psychological, and sexual abuse throughout their relationship. Her lawsuit included allegations of forced substance use and claims that Combs had compelled her to engage in non-consensual sexual acts with other individuals, with him either watching or recording these incidents. She also made explosive claims regarding other violent incidents, including Diddy allegedly threatening individuals' lives. Following Cassie's lawsuit, several more individuals came forward, including 3 minors who alleged being drugged and sexually assaulted by Combs. This spurred an investigation, leading Homeland Security to obtain a search warrant for Combs' properties in Miami and Los Angeles in March 2024. The raids resulted in the seizure of extensive materials, including electronic devices, recordings, and baby oil, and adult toys. In September 2024, Combs was arrested and formally charged with multiple counts of sexual assault and human trafficking, alongside other allegations. Despite Combs pleading not guilty and displaying confidence in his defense, his bail was denied, indicative of the prosecution's confidence in the strength of their evidence. If convicted, Combs could face a life sentence, with a minimum of 15 years in prison. Recent developments surrounding Sean Combs have prompted a renewed examination of the circumstances of Kim Porter's sudden death. Theories have circulated online, suggesting that Kim may have known information that could be damaging to Diddy, with some speculating that her death might not have been as straightforward as officially reported. In the days leading up to her death, Kim Porter made public appearances, including attending her son Quincy's movie premiere for the Netflix film The Holiday Calendar. Sources suggest that Kim was feeling unwell on the day of the event, but Diddy allegedly insisted she attend to maintain their image as a perfect family. Ed Winter, the coroner who allegedly conducted Kim Porter's autopsy, died under mysterious circumstances on March 19, 2023. TMZ reported that Winter, known for investigating celebrity deaths like Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, and Brittany Murphy, passed away from natural causes at his Los Angeles residence at the age of 72. Some fans claim that Winter had been asked to revisit Kim Porter's case, fueling speculation about Diddy's potential involvement in Winter's death. The resurfacing of the allegations against Diddy has reignited the idea that Kim's death could have been linked to something more sinister, possibly involving Diddy's alleged attempts to protect his reputation and career. Kim was working on a book about her experiences in the entertainment industry. If true, this could have included sensitive information about her relationships, including her turbulent history with Diddy. There are those who believe that her decision to write this book might have put her in danger, given the potential consequences of revealing secrets about the powerful figures in her life. Some speculate that this tell-all book was something that Diddy did not want out. In September 2024, 8 years after Kim's death, different versions of the book emerged online. While none of them officially been published, many believe that Kim's friends try to work against Diddy's forces and finally want to get the truth out. TikToker Amanda Rollins talked about the book.
And then she says one day she walks into the studio in the morning and she overhears the conversation. Sean is having a conversation with who she calls Jimmy the henchman, and what she hears him say is, and I quote, "Pac don't leave that fucking studio alive." And then she says, "I don't think I was meant to hear that." So she just continues like she didn't hear that. And she's like, "Oh, good morning, guys. I'm ordering breakfast. What do you want?" They place their little orders, like, right? And she definitely heard it. And as this Jimmy guy is leaving the studio, he says to Sean, "Great, let's make that happen." So, like, confirmed. And he says, "I'll make the call." I'm going to read this part verbatim because I think it's important. "I wasn't in the studio the night Pac survived being shot, thank God. From what I understand, Sean and Chris saw Pac at the studio after he'd been shot and did nothing. The way God works. After being shot, Pac made it to the elevator and tried to escape, but it stopped at the floor that Sean and Chris were on. When the doors opened, they saw him lying on the elevator floor, riddled with bullets. The fact that they didn't call an ambulance, although they saw that Pac was sitting there lying, swimming in a pool of his own blood, would be all the evidence Pac ever needed. He, of course, assumed that they placed the hit, and Tupac is a soldier, but this is not something that will be unanswered. Tupac didn't do well. He lost a testicle, but he survived." She says it was orchestrated and Sean Puffy Combs was the orchestrator. At this point, she knows she's got to get out. So one night they go to a dinner at a restaurant and it's like really fancy. It's the two of them, it's public. And so she was thinking this would be a good time to break up with him. But as he walks into the restaurant, he's on the phone with someone. She doesn't know who he's on the phone with, but she hears him say this: "We're gonna release Who Shot Ya now." So they had a song called Who Shot Ya, and he's intentionally releasing it, and it's gonna be B.I.G. making the song. Of course they're gonna think B.I.G. was talking about Pac. That's the whole point. Nobody would give a fuck about a diss track against LL fucking Cool J. Do you know how much money we're gonna make with this kind of rap beef? So he knowingly put the hit on Tupac and then knowingly encouraged a song from B.I.G. that would make it look like it was him that did it, so we can make money off of it. And then she's like, okay, maybe now is not the best time to break up with him. And as he's getting off the phone, he says, "We drop that shit tomorrow. There's gonna be blood in the street. Blank, they missed. Pac's alive. Let's capitalize on that shit." When he responds, it's just gonna mean more money. He gets off the phone and she doesn't look very happy, and he's like, "What's wrong?" And she's like, "Oh, nothing." But like, she was intimate with Tupac. She liked him. So she's like, this is not good. And he's like, "Oh, are you sure you're fine?" She's like, "Yeah," but she's like, Sean's not stupid. So she's like pretending that she's cool, but he can tell that something's wrong. Parties, right? She's like, "It was threesomes, we were swapping partners, our sex life was crazy, but I got to do things with him that I would never get to do with a straight man. And he cared about me. So, you know, it was becoming more and more obvious that he preferred men, but he did care about me." Says she wakes up in the morning and left the bedroom where she was with Jada Pinkett, and Sean happened to be coming out of the bedroom with Blank and Will Smith. Yes, Blank attended the parties from time to time. We don't know who Blank is. I could see him and Will kind of snuggled up in the bed together. I was grateful that I wasn't asked to join. Didn't really like Blank. He wanted to get back home to Quincy before he woke up, but Sean was like, "No, let's have a talk." And she says she didn't really have a choice because he was getting more and more violent when he didn't get what he wanted. He didn't really want to fight, so he sat down. And as he's sitting down, this Blank person comes out of the room. Sean's wearing boxers, Blank is butt naked, and Blank addressed them and said, "Hey, good morning." When he turned around to close the door, there was dried stuff on his back. The person came over, pulled out a chair to sit down next to them. Sean smiling, and he's like, this East Coast West Coast beef is more lucrative than I thought, but it's getting dangerous. And then the other guy, Blank, is like, "Well, business first thing in the morning, like crazy, you're crazy, like why are we talking business right now?" Blank smiles, blah, blah, blah. He says, "I can't protect everybody, especially if someone is no longer going to be on my label." And Blank says, "Sean, are you saying what I think you're saying?" And then Sean says, "It's taxing on my resources to protect people. Someone that isn't 100% on my team can't get 100% of my protection." Then this Blank person says, "Okay, so to be clear, if something happened to someone on your team," and he made quote marks with his fingers, "that leaving your label anyway, it would be considered out of your control." And she's like, "Wait, are they talking about Biggie? Is Sean saying he won't protect Biggie anymore?" She says, "At this point, I was too young, too naive, too hungover to realize that what they're talking about is not a lack of protection, but a hit." And she's like, "Where did this come from?" The world was about to lose Biggie. At this point, she says to him, because she like decides she has to speak up, she's like, "But Sean, he hasn't left yet. They're just rumors. Are you really gonna let him die because of some rumors?" And P. Diddy replies, "I know when I'm being betrayed. I'm not killing anyone, but I am not protecting somebody that doesn't have my back 150%. She's like, "Okay, maybe I can play the money card." And she's like, "Sean, he's bringing in so much money. Like, you've put so much money investing into him. Like, are you gonna throw that away?" He's like, "If he leaves, he takes all the money I invested into creating him. But if I can't protect him, something terrible does happen, then the money I would make off of his death would blow away all the money we made so far." And he says, "He's worth more to me dead than alive." And then she's like, "No," and she's like, "But you're dating someone, I can fuck whoever I want." He loses his shit, he slams her to the ground, pulls out a big boy weapon, sits it on the end of the table, turns to her calmly, and like points it at her, and she's like, "Please stop, my son is here, like cut it out." And he's like, "You're mine, you don't have a choice in that now, I can't live without you." And she's like, "Sean, that's not love." But he's like, "Bitch, I don't care." And then he says to her, "This is just for dramatic effect. I would never actually pow you. If I was going to, no one would ever trace it to me. Do you know how many people I've had to take care of over the years? It would be quiet, something in your food or in your drink, something that would never get back to me. I would never pow you. Do you understand?" Dude, if any of this is real, this is insanity. But for him to be arrested the way that he is, they must have stuff on him. Like this, what we're about to find out about this man, bro. After this, he in here, okay? So J-Lo's pissed and she's like, Sean, what the fuck? Why the hell did you have to start shooting? Isn't that what we have bodyguards for? And so Kim's kind of like, what's going on? And then J-Lo explodes and she's like, what's going on? This guy shot up a club. And Sean's like, calm down. And J-Lo's like, calm down. You shot a bunch of innocent people, Sean. She mentions at this point, P. Diddy like puts his arm on J-Lo and he's like, calm down. And she's like, this is something he does to try to like manipulate us. And then she says, why do you think Biggie's replacement will take the fall for you? And then Kim's like, Biggie's replacement? Like, could she be talking about like, and then she says, are you talking about Shine? And then J-Lo's like, yeah, Shine. I'm gonna be real, I have no idea who Shine is, never heard of him, just Googled him. I don't think he ever got very big. And then she says that somebody contacted her attorney for a statement. So she's like, this is not under control, dude. Like, cause I was a witness and you're not gonna get away with it. So I guess like the shooting in the club, they're gonna try to put it on Shine. And she's like, what if halfway through his sentence, he starts talking? She's like, no one's gonna be that loyal to you. And he's like, I won't do that. And then J-Lo's like, so you're gonna kill him too? Bro, how many people know about this? And he's like, don't worry, Shine is smart and loyal. He knows that it's gonna pay off like when he gets to the end of this. Is this true? Yeah, it's true. Shine, a former protege of Combs, was sentenced in 2001 to 10 years in jail for an assault conviction stemming from a 1999 nightclub shooting in New York that involved Combs and his then-girlfriend J-Lo. Bro, what? Combs was acquitted in the widely publicized case. Did I live under a rock? I've never heard of this. J-Lo's like, they want to question me. I'm not perjuring myself. I'm not going to go to jail over this. And J-Lo's like, how do you know? And he's like, well, he's going to confess and then the witnesses are going to confirm, so they won't need anything else. And then he's like, all we need is a statement from your attorney. And J-Lo's like, my attorney's great, but he's not gonna like blatantly lie. Like, he won't do this. And then P. Diddy's like, yeah, he will. And then Kim's like, you were gonna make Shine the label's go-to man. What are you gonna do now? And he's like, artists with his talent are a dime a dozen. And then she says he tried to make a threesome happen that night. And he was like, this is gonna be my last party, okay? Like, my body's never gonna do this. Like, not allow so many people to do this to my body again. She says, whenever I try dating somebody else, they would end up dead from pneumonia. Dude, have we fact-checked this? She says she has a plan, but it's dangerous. He has a vault where he keeps the videotapes of all of his conquests. I started sleeping with him again, and after he falls asleep, I would go into the vault, take some of the tapes, make copies, swap them, etc. Took her weeks to do this, but she finally has them all, and this is her way out. I think this is the part that you guys have mostly been waiting for. Some of the tapes had things I would have never expected. The gay parties are one thing, but the young boys, like Usher, Little Bow Wow, and Justin Bieber. Oh my God. She literally said the name. She said the name. I thought it was gonna be X'd out for sure. I thought for sure. Oh my. Sorry, Kimura is there when this is happening, so he walks into the house and she's like, we're done. And he's like, excuse me? And she's like, we're done. And he's like, no. And she's like, I have the footage, Sean. And he starts looking confused and he's like, what are you talking about? And she's like, and then Kim says, Usher too? And then he's like, wait, what the fuck is going on? He's getting pissed and Kimura's like, don't make me call the cops. And then Kim Porter says, if anything happens to either of us, it gets released. He starts to walk out of the house and then he turns and lunges at her and he knocks her down near the top of the stairs. As he began to crouch over me, I kicked him, hitting him in the kneecap and then his face. He went tumbling down the stairs. He was too hurt to get up. I called the cops. Kim left before they arrived. When he left, it was in an ambulance. I want to quickly fact check this. Turns out Googling Sean Combs and hospitalized doesn't give you the results that you want because there's too many. She says, after this, things were okay for a while. She started dating someone, got serious, and then he died of pneumonia. Dude. She says, when this happened, when her most recent ex-boyfriend passed from pneumonia, she knew it was him, and that's when she decided to write this book. She says her home was robbed, laptops were stolen, and she knows that it's him trying to find the copy of all these videos, but she has them stored in the cloud. And she says she's going to send copies of this out to people with her Google Drive password, so that way the missing chapters can be accessed, that this has to get out. There's so many more chapters to add. And then she says she's not feeling very well. She called Kimura to cancel plans, and when she spoke to her, Kimura says, girl, that doesn't sound like the flu. You want to go to the hospital? And she was like, that didn't immediately alarm me. I just need some rest. But why can't I get my doctor? Why won't her doctor pick? She can't get her doctor on the phone. So she eventually just calls Sean himself because like she needs help. On the phone, he says to her, I have your kids. And she's like, what are you talking about? And he's like, the kids are with me. And so she's like, did you ever love me? And he replies and says, the most important thing to me in the world is loyalty. And then she says he puts on a fake voice and he's like, Kim, is something wrong? This is sick. Now she's saying, like, I shouldn't have threatened him. I should have just published the book. She's like, I'm gonna die like Heavy D, like Biggie, like Pac, like so many others. And then before hanging up, she says, that's not the only copy, you fuck. And then she shot out a group text to let everyone know he got me. And then I called 911. As I sit here waiting for the ambulance, I am writing this chapter and praying that I make it to the hospital. I don't feel like writing anymore. I may not be around to see it print. It's okay. I'm sending it out. He won't get away with this. I will have my say, my final words. Sean Combs will get exposed, even if I lose my life doing it. My kids have always been my most cherished possessions. I want the world to know that. But more importantly, I want them to know.
I'll be sure. Kim Porter's ex-partner sparked speculation about her death by claiming she was about to reveal significant truths. He stated that although the Amazon book is not authentic, Kim had planned to disclose many secrets. Al mentioned on social media that her devices containing book notes were stolen and believes the evidence aligns with the book on Amazon. However, he also disputed some claims about their sexual escapades, asserting they are untrue.
Ms. Porter's missing devices, already in evidence, unquestionably contain the critical evidence corroborates closely with details outlined in the recently public indictment document.